So now we're at Module 4, and in our first lesson, we talk about our networking strategy. And our networking strategy basically has 4 principles that we look at. We look at the 50-50 networking rule. We secondly look at how to share what you know, who you know, and how you feel. Then thirdly, we look at sharing books and articles of interest to people who are in our network. And then finally, we talk about formal and informal networking events to enhance our connections. So on the first piece, the real networking is not about trying to be smarter than or crush our competition. Rather, we partner with people who would seem to be competitors or people who may even be in our same circle of influence, industry, certainly people who serve the same target that we do. And in the Book Yourself Solid 50-50 methodology, we suggest that we spend 50% of our time networking with other professionals who also serve our target market. And we spend 50% of the time with people who are currently our clients or potentially past clients or formal clients. And we spend 50% of our time with this group because our hope is that we will be able to earn more referrals by not forgetting this group. So in the Book Yourself Solid networking methodology, our networking is not necessarily about getting clients, although ultimately that's the whole intention of Book Yourself Solid. But rather, in this strategy, we want to develop deeper relationships with other people so we open doors for one another. And we keep in touch with those whom we have developed relationships and have done business with over time. So again, our 50-50 rule suggests that 50% of our time is spent networking with other professionals who serve the same target market that we do, and 50% of our time is spent with our current circle of influence of customers that we may currently serve or potentially customers that we've served in the past. Then secondly, we talk about how to share what we know, who we know, and how we feel. So let's talk about sharing who we know. So these are people that we know that we would probably find relevant to other people we know. So consider it something like this, that I have a Rolodex, and in that Rolodex, I have it segmented into like industries or people who have similar interests. And my goal is to put those two people together, or at least to make introductions. And when I do that, then my relevancy to both individuals increases. So each day we reach out to someone inside of our network and refer them to someone else inside of our network. We just open the door. We don't take too much responsibility for the outcome. We just simply make the introduction and then leave it there. Now, we do want to be careful to make introductions that are relevant, and we want to match social and professional skills, otherwise the introductions aren't really relevant. Remember, you don't have a responsibility after that. And we do this every day. We look at people who consistently support us, that we can add value to, and we expand our network. And we look at professionals who that we do not yet know in a later piece of this. But all in all, the intention is that we're just sharing who we know. And we don't get overly concerned and worried about, should I share my network and protecting our network. We just make intelligent decisions about people we should make introductions to, and then we go forward from there. Then we share what we know. By this, we don't necessarily mean our own information, although it could be, but we also share books, articles of interest, blogs, any type of content that we believe our circle of influence or our network might find relevant. So we find that information and we share it. This shows that we are thinking of our network. And in fact, we are. We do it without expecting anything in return. We just simply share. We believe in the law of reciprocity and hope that, and usually it does occur, that at some point down the road we can reach back out to our network and ask for help or information or introductions, but it's not really the point right now. We're simply just sharing information of what we know. We get knowledge and we share knowledge. If you know, there are 5 books that we've read in the last few months that we feel like could be helpful to our network, we share that. Then the next thing that we do is we share how we feel. We come to this point from a place of compassion. We share a birthday wish, congratulate someone on their promotion, on a new job assignment, on a new client, or it might even just be as simple as saying, I was thinking of you today and hope you're doing well in your business, or whatever it is. We simply share compassion. Finally, after we have shared who we know, what we know, and how we feel, then we look at the formal and informal networking events that enhance our connections. So let's start with formal connections. So we look at 5 people in our network who support us. And we look at 5 people in our network that we can add value to. And then we look at 5 people who are not in our network that we would like to get to know. And we try to figure out where we would find them. So we start with one person, and that one person eventually could lead to 2 people, who then could lead to 3 people, and then we have a snowball effect. So again, we don't worry about being proprietary about the people and information we know. We just share freely. So formal connections are people who are already in our network, and informal connections are people that we could likely meet organically. Now, an important note about networking events is that we want to be natural and we want to just be ourselves. Because after all, that is what people connect to. We don't worry about what we look like, although of course we would assume that we would dress professionally, but we're just not so worried about it. We just show up and we're authentic and we are us, and the people that we're meant to serve or meant to connect with, we will connect with. So further, in Book Yourself Solid, we look for what we call our network of 90. If I know 90 people, or even 30 people, but really if I took the time to sit down and think about it, I probably really do know 90 people that I can connect with. And if I connect with these people and reach out to 4 of those people each day, so really within a week, I would have reached out to 20 people, and at the end of the month, by this time I would be through the 90, then we can share our intangibles, our 3 intangibles. We can share our network, we can share an article or knowledge, and we can share compassion. So we share this with our network of 90, and over time, we feel more connected because we are more connected. And we continue to replicate this over and over again. So in summary, we use the 50-50 rule. And by doing this, we will be able to connect with current clients, past clients, and we develop relationships with referral partners. So 50% potential referral partners, 50% of our connection will be with current and previous clients. Then we share what we know, who we know, and how we feel. And then we take it up a notch by sharing articles, books, information, things that would be of interest to people in our network. And then finally, we use our formal and informal networking opportunities to enhance the connections with those that we already have. And with that, we've now wrapped up our networking strategy.